The story is not over. After the chilling conclusion of Resident Evil Village, a silence has fallen over the world of survival horror. Yet, in that quiet, a new fear is taking root. Fans everywhere are holding their breath, waiting for the next chapter in Capcom's legendary series. This next chapter has a rumored name that sends shivers down the spine: Resident Evil 9 Requiem. It promises to be a culmination, a final, terrifying piece of a puzzle that began with Ethan Winters. The excitement is not just about another game, it is about witnessing the end of an era and the birth of a new kind of horror. The air is thick with anticipation for what might be the most ambitious Resident Evil yet. The Resident Evil series has always been about evolution. It started with fixed cameras and zombies in a mansion. It then moved to over-the-shoulder action in a Spanish village. More recently, it plunged us into first-person terror in Louisiana and a gothic European landscape. Each major entry shifts our perspective and redefines what it means to be scared. Resident Evil 9 is expected to continue this tradition of bold change. The conclusion of the Winters family saga in the Shadows of Rose DLC left a door wide open, not just for a new story but for a new direction entirely. The question on everyone's mind is simple: where will Capcom take us next? The subtitle, Requiem, is a powerful clue in itself. A requiem is a mass for the dead, a final song of remembrance and mourning. This suggests a story steeped in finality and loss. Could this be the game where we say a final goodbye to beloved characters? Or does it signify the death of the Umbrella Corporation's lingering legacy once and for all? The name alone builds a world of suspense. It paints a picture of a grim, solemn, and deeply personal horror. It hints that the stakes will be higher than ever before. This is not just about survival, it is about facing the ghosts of the past and the finality of death itself. So, why the intense buzz? It is because Resident Evil 8 left us on a monumental cliffhanger. The story of the Winters family felt both complete and wide open for what comes next. The post-credits scene gave us a glimpse of a grown-up Rose, hinting at a future where the consequences of the past are very much alive. This next installment is not just another sequel. It feels like the final act of a grand play that has been unfolding for years. It is the promise of answers to long-standing questions and a confrontation with the ultimate source of the bioweapons that have plagued this world. The stage is set for a truly unforgettable nightmare. Officially, Capcom has remained silent. As of today, June 10, 2025, there has been no grand announcement, no flashy trailer, no press release confirming Resident Evil 9. The studio is famously tight-lipped, preferring to let anticipation build naturally before revealing its hand. This silence, however, has not stopped the internet from buzzing. Credible insiders, who have accurately predicted past Capcom releases, have been dropping hints. They suggest the game has been in development since 2018 and is slated to have the largest budget in the series' history. These whispers point towards a project of immense scale, one that Capcom is taking its time to perfect before showing it to the world. The most persistent rumor revolves around the game's setting. Leaks suggest that we will be leaving the gothic villages and derelict houses behind for something new. The rumored location is a ghost town on a secluded island in the American West. Imagine vast empty deserts, abandoned pioneer towns, and deep dark cave systems. This would be a significant departure for the series, trading claustrophobic corridors for a more open, psychological horror. The isolation of such a place could create a unique kind of dread, where the biggest threat is not just what is hiding in the dark, but the vast, oppressive emptiness all around you. This new setting is said to be part of a more open-world approach to gameplay. This does not mean it will be like a traditional open-world RPG. Instead, think of it as a much larger, more interconnected version of Village's hub area. Players might have the freedom to explore different parts of the island, tackling objectives in an order of their choosing. This could introduce new survival elements like managing resources over longer journeys or seeking shelter from environmental dangers. The potential for discovery and the fear of the unknown would be amplified in a world that feels more expansive and unpredictable than ever before. The story, according to these same sources, will directly follow the events of Village and its DLC. The focus will be on the aftermath of the Winters saga and the organizations that operate in the shadows, like the BSAA. The subtitle Requiem might refer to a final mission to eradicate a new, powerful bioweapon threat once and for all. The rumored plot involves investigating the source of a new outbreak in this isolated ghost town. This investigation will supposedly uncover secrets that connect back to the very origins of the series, tying together threads that have been left dangling for years. It is a finale in the making. Who will we play as? That is the biggest question. While many hope for the return of a grown-up Rose Winters, insiders suggest that Resident Evil 9 will bring back a fan-favorite veteran. The name that keeps coming up is Chris Redfield. After his morally gray role in Village, where he led the Hound Wolf Squad, his story is far from over. He is a man burdened by decades of fighting monsters, and this game could be his final defining battle. Placing Chris at the center of the story would make sense for a Requiem, as it would bring his long and tragic journey full circle, forcing him to confront his past and the consequences of his actions. Of course, a Resident Evil game is only as good as its monsters. Leaks point to a terrifying new bestiary inspired by folklore from the American West. Forget zombies and vampires, think skinwalkers and wendigos. These creatures are rooted in tales of transformation, cannibalism, and supernatural dread. The game might feature enemies that can mimic human speech to lure you into traps or stalk you silently through the open wilderness. The potential for this new roster of monsters is huge. It moves the series away from science-based mutations and deeper into the realm of folk horror, blurring the line between science fiction and ancient evil. Alongside these new terrors, we might see a new type of villain. The series has moved on from corporate megalomaniacs like Albert Wesker to more complex figures like Mother Miranda. Rumors suggest that Resident Evil 9's antagonist will not be a single person, but a cult-like community living in the ghost town. This community might worship the strange creatures of the island, seeing the outbreak not as a disaster, but as a divine event. This would create a tense dynamic where the line between friend and foe is constantly blurred. You would not just be fighting monsters, but an entire belief system, making the conflict much more psychological. What about other returning characters? While Chris might be the lead, it is unlikely he will be alone. Insiders have hinted that other familiar faces will make an appearance, possibly Jill Valentine or Claire Redfield, who have been absent from the main story for some time. Bringing the original cast back together for one final mission would be a powerful way to honor the series' legacy. Imagine a grizzled, older team reuniting to face a threat that dwarfs anything they have encountered before. This would not just be a mission, it would be a reunion, a final stand for the characters who started it all. While we wait for official news, the fan community has been busy crafting its own theories. One of the most popular hopes is for a game that successfully merges the best parts of the series. Fans want the tense, resource management horror of the early games combined with the modern, fluid gameplay of the recent entries. They hope for a game that is genuinely scary, relying on atmosphere and suspense rather than just jump scares. Many are also hoping that the open-world rumors are true, as long as the design maintains that classic feeling of being trapped and vulnerable, even in a larger space. Another major hope revolves around the story's conclusion. Fans want a satisfying end to the arcs of characters like Chris Redfield. They have followed his journey for decades and want to see him find some form of peace, or at least a meaningful end to his fight. There's also a strong desire for the game to finally provide clear answers about organizations like the BSAA, which was revealed to be using bioweapons at the end of Village. Fans want Resident Evil 9 to be the game that ties everything together, providing a coherent and impactful finale to the overarching narrative that has been building since 1996. Ultimately, the wait for Resident Evil 9 is a testament to the series' enduring power. It has a unique ability to reinvent itself while staying true to its core identity. Each new game is an event, and the silence from Capcom only makes the eventual reveal more exciting. The rumors of a larger budget, a new open-world setting, and the return of iconic characters paint a picture of a game that could be a landmark moment for the franchise. It is a project shrouded in mystery, and every small leak only adds to the suspense. The quiet is unsettling, but we know something is stirring in the dark. The road ahead is long and filled with uncertainty. We will continue to analyze every rumor and dissect every potential clue. The name Requiem hangs in the air, a promise of something final and profound. Will it be the masterpiece fans are hoping for? Will it provide the closure we seek? Only time will tell. For now, we wait. We listen to the whispers coming from the shadows, and we prepare ourselves for the day when Capcom finally pulls back the curtain and invites us into our next nightmare. The silence will eventually break, and when it does, the fear will begin anew.